Welcome back.
Sorry.
Welcome back to In the Oven with Adam and Brad.
Hey.
We're here. That's what I kind of feel like today.
Yep.
We're here.
We're here. It's Friday.
So we're recording a second podcast this week to make up for the one that we missed. So we were going to record it yesterday, and then we were like, hey, what are we even talking about?
Yeah.
And so we
needed some time, y'all.
But I will say, since yesterday, a lot. I know I had to print something earlier, and the printer just did like ghost talking over there.
All right.
A lot has changed about some ideas that we have for the future of this building since last night. Long story short, everyone knows we live above Fat and Weird. Adam's been saying like, hey, now that operation hours are going to get extended, you guys may want to try to find a different place. But Aubrey and I went to date night last night, and we were just talking, and she was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, maybe we can move to a house soon. And I think, as Letty gets older, it's just nice to have a yard. We don't really have that here. And two, we would like a little bit of like separation thing.
Yeah, some, man. Y'all got to run personal errands and everything,
Yeah. But I think the reason that it makes sense is because we were already trying to figure out an office situation, content studio, and all this other stuff. And so it's just like, well, this makes sense just to use this space for that, and then we move out. So it's not like this house is going to be unused. No. We're going to
content kitchen.
Yeah, we're going to leave the again, and this is probably 3+ months down the road, but it's fun to talk about. We're going to leave the office as is. We'll have a full kitchen for content, for people to also just take breaks up here. We're going to convert the master bedroom, or primary bedroom, I guess is technically the PR term for that now. Yeah, the primary bedroom to the podcast studio, content studio, things like that. And then we'll have the other 2 bedrooms into offices, conference room, stuff like that, flex space. So there'll be a lot of cool stuff.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be dope. We can use it. We can use it now. And it'll give our folks a more comfortable space. We're taking up a big area because we need it for office space for the office team. But really, it's downstairs. It's about where production is. It'd just be more useful for us, break room. Yeah. So, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, in that office, comfortably you can fit 7-8 people in the office, so for a break room is going to do really well. Oh, yeah. And we've hired like 4 new people in the past week. Yeah. And so and to put that in perspective, our entire kitchen and shipping staff, like production people, is maybe 10 people. Mm-hmm. And so then we added 4 more to that. So it's like 40% increase in the size of your staff. So we need more space for them to be able to take lunch breaks.
For the people.
Yeah. So that is kind of something fun. Aubrey and I are actually going to go check out a house today.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll swing by and say,
you better call my wife. You better tell her. She's going to be pissed.
You're going to come all check it out with us?
I'll come check it out, but Kirsty will definitely want to know.
Yeah.
She'll be over there snooping it up.
So, yeah, it's at 6 p.m., so I'll let you know.
In the hood.
Yeah. And we're going to check that out. Nothing's set in stone yet, but we want to see what's available to us in the short term, I guess. So.
Yeah. So, it's all good stuff. But, operationally, yes, we are extending hours. We've also kind of stabilized that big hit, that big top-heavy part of the ship that we had to incur for a long period, all of last year, really. We're not swimming in the dough, but it makes sense. They're now paying for themselves. Their jobs were like future jobs, and now they're daily, really tasks. Yeah. They're the customer's kind of paying for that part of the margin, if you will. So it's less. Yeah, it's less. We're less cash starved at the moment.
Until accounts receivable. But we are cash starved until accounts. Our accounts receivable is swimming in the dough.
But what I mean is, in the planning phase, it does make sense because we wouldn't incur really any construction costs. We just use this place as is, and if we had to build out an office and if we had to do anything, there would be a big cost there. So
yeah, we were kind of assuming a $30,000 to $50,000 bill over at your facility to
it gets expensive doing flooring to just make it nice for your people, and this is nice. And
then when you think about it, it's like we'll probably still need to spend a little bit of money, but now it's like 10 to 15 grand instead of like 50 grand, and it's it's just something that and it gets Aubrey excited, and I always like to
Absolutely, man. Get mama excited. Always having her on board is always the right thing. So,
but talking about what you were saying about making certain decisions and cash conscious stuff like that, a lot of people don't realize that we spent all of, and I guess some people would be too ashamed to talk about this, but we spent all of 2023 in the red.
Yep.
And part, like the last part of 2022 also like in the red. I had some legal bills and things like that from the merger that didn't work out that like really ate up a lot of the capital in like certain months. But in general, like, we were in the red. So every month we were not making more money than we were using, spending. So, you put money in, I put money in, and we've kind of like floated it.
We had a business plan. It doesn't mean it wasn't hard to stomach, but we stayed the course, and we're there. We're still staying the course. The team's on board. But it was tough, man.
And I know this is going to sound weird for people that are listening, but it literally was like a switch flipped. We went from being like...
That's right. Sorry.
We went from being like, are we going to make it next month? Are we going to make it next month? To like, oh my gosh, I think we made it. Like we're there. You know what I mean?
Well, and y'all too, we talk about the entrepreneurialism journeys and stuff. And man, I don't know anybody who just like overnight made a bunch of money. I know that there's a lot of people on the internet claiming, and if you want to follow them and buy their course or whatever, sure. But you usually start out by taking a large amount of money and turning it into a much smaller amount of money before it turns around. And every month you're worried, do I have enough to cover next month? Do I have enough to cover next month? And we made it work. We still got to keep making it work, though. I don't want to. I don't want to gloat, but we. Yeah.
Right now, we're doing good.
Stuff is doing all right. Yeah, we're happy. We're happy for sure.
But also, Mother's Day is coming up.
That's right.
I actually put out a story. I don't know if you saw it yesterday. And I said, hey, fellas. And then I was like, and ladies, Mother's Day is this Sunday, and I put it on my story. And so many people have messaged me like, you're a real one for this, or thanks for the reminder and all that stuff. Are y'all doing anything for Mother's Day?
I don't know. I mean, Kirsty and I are going to do so. Our in-house family definitely going to do something for her. We'll probably go over to 30A, Old Florida Fish House. Probably do that. Hang out, do some kid stuff over there. But then I don't know what we're going to do with our folks. I mean, we got multiples to see, so we'll play that by ear.
For Mother's Day, Aubrey, the big thing is she always wants to just like have like a few hours alone. So I know she's putting on that Mother's Day thing that I think Kirsty's going to, right?
I think so.
Yeah, on Saturday from like 10 to 2 or something like that. I think they're going to go just do stuff.
Hang out.
I don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah,
so Letty and I are going to a birthday party for Kayla Gore, or Chow. I guess Kayla Chow, now it's Kayla Gore, their daughter. So it's a swim party at like 10 a.m. So it's like works out perfectly. I'm just going to take her to the party. Perfect. And then on Sunday, William, which is my brother-in-law, has been messaging me like, hey, we should do something. Like, what should we do? My mom's on this meat and fruit only diet that she's really trying to stick to, elimination diet just for her health. And so we just decided that he's going to go pick up steaks and chicken and stuff like that. And then I'm going to make like a fruit salad and we're going to bring it over there. And he said he's going to grab some sweet potatoes and stuff too, just in case people want like other foods besides that. But I was like, honestly, I like meat and vegetable meat and fruit. So I'm a big.
I'll make it work. It's one meal, y'all.
So that's what we're doing on Sunday night.
Yeah.
So
yeah. As long as there's meat, I'm good.
Where's the protein?
Yeah. As long as there's meat, I'm fine.
All right. So Eastman's asking us if there's tips for husbands for Mother's Day. I feel like most moms just want to have some peace and quiet because they don't really get that much, Yeah,
Eastman and I were kind of talking about that the other day. There is a trick now, Carsey and I've done it before. I feel like it's a very modern thing of like the moms going and just being like alone.
Yeah, Mom's Day, yeah.
Yeah, which there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's great. Sounds cool. Sounds fun. Sounds like they deserve it. Growing up, single mom, I was with my mom all the time. So like it's a foreign concept to me. So it also feels very modern, not in a bad way, just modern in that like moms are free enough to go do that type of thing. Again, great. Kids though kind of don't get which I know we do everything, but it's like kids don't get the Mother's Day part as much.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, because they're like, this is Mother's Day. Shouldn't I be with my mother? You know?
Yeah. So I feel like we need to do something to either like minimize that for them or just call it Mom's Day. And it's like Mom's Day, go.
So normally Letty and I get up early on Sunday morning and we drive to Starbucks and we get Aubrey a coffee.
Cool.
And then we go to Krispy Kreme.
Okay.
And we get her some donuts.
Yeah.
We've done that every year. And so
little gifts, acts of service mixed together.
So that's probably what we'll be doing. You know?
Great.
So.
It's, I mean, simple stuff, you know, like, I don't know. I do stuff for Kirsty all the time. She does stuff for me in return. So what do you want that's special? You know, but again, it's another kind of forced Hallmarky kind of day. So it's like, you know, you deserve a day to do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, exactly.
At least one.
Yeah, I think for most people, like there was like one woman that DM'd me and she said, will you text my husband and let him know I want a spa day? And she like left his phone number. So I texted him.
Attaboy.
And he responded like 4 hours later and he goes,
hey, yo, who's this?
No, I sent screenshots. He goes, he was like, oh, that's funny, but I'm going to sue you for using the cookie name our name of our cookie company because that's what my wife is. And I was like, "Ooh, damn!" I said, "You better get her 2 spa days for that one."
Saucy. So. That's funny. Yeah, man. Just tips for husbands on Mother's Day. Just I mean,
ask your wife what she wants.
Yes, you can ask your wife. Of course, some folks that are like surprises. Surprises are always nice. I would say though that my wisdom of women over the years, especially my own wife, is just do something out of the ordinary. Thoughtful and out of the ordinary for them on that day to show them that they're not just special as your wife, they're the mother of your children. And, show them that that's special to you.
Yeah, and you appreciate them. Yeah. I mean, I think it's really more, because like it can mean different things for different people, but it's just kind of like, hey, I wanted to do something
without
special
her, I would not have my kids, right? I might have other kids, but I wouldn't have my kids. And so, like, I'm, indefinitely grateful for that.
Yeah, who created that?
Yeah, I love you, baby. Happy Mother's Day. Bang.
Kirsty actually probably watches these.
She does, yeah.
All right, so the next thing, since we're on the topic of women, let's talk about Miss USA stepping down.
I don't know about none of this.
Just leave it. Yeah, leave it there. It's all good.
Ooh. It is like real cryptic.
Yeah, so she wrote out this long thing, but it lines up to say, in life, I strongly value the importance, blah, 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 as individuals. But if you read it, it says, I am silenced. So how do you feel about that? She claims she's stepping down from mental health issues, but then obviously this cryptic message of I am silenced is put in there.
I don't know, man. I don't know, right? You got to put the tinfoil hat on if you want to. Man, there was a thing that came out a while ago about like the handlers of some of these people. Like they all have the same personal trainers. They all have the same, and it's like it's all supportive roles. They'll be like holistic guru, yoga,
holistic medicine
person, right? Personal trainer. Well, I was thinking about it, and it was like, man, I spent so much time with these people, and like they would take supplements at my discretion. They would take things at my discretion. A lot of them would take gray issue stuff if I recommended that they peptides, it's like legal for research purposes. If I asked them to, I didn't do that. But so you could think there would be a way to put people into a state that they were very influenceable.
Well, I think isn't that what they said of Kanye's personal trainer did to him?
Kanye West,
right?
But it's like Kanye West, man. They've done such a good job at making him seem so crazy.
Yeah.
But he's also a genius.
But you've also said that you personally believe whenever people try to make a conspiracy theory seem just so crazy,
pour the crazy, right? Because you can't
like the Wayfair thing. Like, oh yeah, Wayfair's just.
Well, look at it, right? Kanye came out and said a very valid thing that I can wrap my head around. It was, an article written about things that he had said, but it was well written out, and I can go, I could see that being a real way to manipulate people. But then even I go, but it's Kanye.
Yeah.
It's Kanye that said it. It's like somebody says something and then you find out Alex Jones said it. And you're like, he's been so right about so many things, but it's also Alex Jones. It's like, shit. I don't know, man. Well, that's the perfect defense, I think, for like, get you to think you're crazy.
Miss Teen USA stepped down a week later.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. I mean,
if they start saying, hey, you have to say these things, right? Like, I know some of those girls, at least, I don't know them personally, but when I've seen the shows, a lot of them seem like they have very conservative values and very, religious beliefs and stuff. And if you start getting up there and say, like, hey, you need to break these or say that you agree with this stuff that you don't, that's abrasive, dude. We live in a world, though, where we're, like, forcing, like, if you're a public figure, you now kind of, because, like, there are religious and personal political beliefs that you and I should be allowed to hold. Don't impose on anybody.
Right.
And now if you're a public figure, it's like, what's your opinion? And if it's not the right one, like, you're done.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's the whole cancel culture.
And it's like, oh, shit.
I think the hard part for me, and, maybe this is just me not knowing a lot about this, but I'm just not a big fan of, like, Miss USA and beauty pageants and stuff in general. I think that I don't like the fact, I mean, we don't have a Mr. USA other than, like, bodybuilding stuff. And then bodybuilding, there's also women in it. I feel like we talk so much about, like, women's value beyond their looks, but then we have things that are like, judge women on their looks.
I think it got, at what it's supposed to be, maybe. I mean, it's a beauty contest, right? First and foremost. I think some of that, the sexiness of it or whatever, I think stole some of that, because beauty can be on the inside. And I believe these women are supposed to be exceedingly well educated, have, philanthropy out the wazoo,
right.
Just so from a little girl's looking up to something, I think it's hard to parade an engineer next to something maybe on a stage. And then then what is that? So for this chick, and maybe they've laxed on that, I don't know, but if I got up there, I'm a young girl, you see a well put together, pretty. I understand you don't control a lot of the pretty, but a lot of the pretty that you're seeing is controlled.
Yeah.
So they put together, they're doing their thing, and then it's like, then you find out they got a whatever degree and whatever, and they studied it here, and they volunteer at that place and whatever. It's like, that's a beautiful person.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that too so much, but it's just, again,
I don't care about your baton twirling skills maybe, but even then it's like, oh damn, man, you can do that,
Yeah, I think my biggest thing is, and you know this too, is like the fitness world that we live in is a great thing as far as, like, I think a lot of people are way more educated than they used to be. I mean, I remember reading fitness magazines and thinking, oh, if I took this stuff, I'm going to look like Jay Cutler, and, they're like, all you need to do is buy this, whatever.
Hydroxycut.
Right. And then they put their diets and their workout plans, and we'd be following that stuff thinking it was going to matter.
Nothing.
But I think that the educational part of the fitness world is a lot better. But I also think that social media and things like this, bodybuilding competitions, everything just lead people towards disordered eating, body dysmorphia, and all that stuff. So, like, where do you draw that line between, like, being helpful to people and people wanting to challenge themselves? And
well, so just hot take. If y'all don't know this, the people you follow on Instagram, a lot of times, if you're not seeing it, like, really follow them in their stories and it's current, it's probably not current. They'll change 20 different times, take 20 different pictures in the snow, and give you 20 years worth of them being shredded out of their minds for wintertime. Just FYI. But yes, it does. Because I go,
yeah.
And I eat healthy. I exercise like a fool, but like,
well, if we take both of us and we put me and you in a normal distribution of people,
top 1%.
We'd be in
Easily.
the top percentage. But yet we will
On
pick
social
ourselves
media,
apart
you're
because
like,
I go, well, you and I walk in the gym, and I'm like, dang, that dude's shredded, or dang, that dude's strong.
Yeah. So the beauty pageant stuff, I always think Miss Congeniality, and I love that movie. But
Bend and Snap.
Yeah. No, that's Legally Blonde.
Oh, Legally
Blonde, which is also
right,
great.
Yeah.
But the when I think of those, right, and bodybuilding shows and even stuff we capture on social media, it's moment in time. And so, like, bodybuilding show, moment in time. Beauty pageant, moment in time, right? You got to step up. You got to do it then on that stage. We don't get to, like, pick and choose. And so I say it and immediately forget it and go back to judging myself. But if we can remember that it's, like, moment in time, I don't have to think I need to walk around looking like Chris Bumstead. It's like, oh, look. Well, it's Chris Bumstead, right? I don't look anything like it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I got 80% down, on his off season, you know? So it's like, whatever. I work out for my own health and mental.
Well, and you think even though Chris Bumstead's won, like, repeatedly, I I bet you there's parts of his body he does not like.
Oh, yeah.
And that he would trade out or pick apart, or he wishes his bicep insertion was like this other person's, or like whatever, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's social media, because I don't think that's the only culprit. I feel like the beauty standards have just been elevated so much because of social media and things like that, and people thinking, like you said, like I mean, the cruise I just went on, I think I told you beforehand, I was like, man, I feel like soft and like I feel like I don't feel like I'm in good shape, and I even brought it up to Chris McMullen, right? It was there at the gym. He's an IFBB pro. I brought it up to him, and he was like, bro, he's like, you're gonna look better than everyone on the gym. And so I started looking around on the cruise, and arguably, I did not see anyone in better shape than me. Right. And so I was
There'll
like,
be always one random jacked old guy.
Yeah.
He'll be like, he's old too, but he's like jacked as shit. Living that cruise life. I seen him on my last
super
cruise.
tan.
Super tan.
Yeah. Oiled up and just
right there, single, stacking it up.
Yeah. But no, I mean, yeah, and he's right. I mean, we walked around the cruise, and I didn't see anyone in better shape than me in this cruise. There are times when I see a few people that are, but in general, I was like, well, okay.
Well, and again, it's like it's a contest, me v me, right? And,
right.
I know you the same way, but so like, when we can remember that, I'm a popular guy. When we can remember that it's a moment in time, and that we're not actually searching to, be able to be that way year round, even though the social media person we follow, it seems like they are selling diet plans, man. They got ripped as hell for 12 weeks, and, and that 12 weeks is living on forever.
Or some of them are that shredded all the time, and they really hate their lives.
Yeah, true that.
I had a friend that built his following in a very specific niche. And literally one day, he looked at me, and he was like, I hate this. And I was like, what do you mean? And he has a lot of followers. And I was like, man, you got tons of followers. You get tons of engagement. He goes, I hate that if I go outside of this niche, that I get no traction. And he goes, and I don't like the niche that I'm in. Like, he's like, I doubled down because I saw it was growing, even though I didn't really enjoy it. And now I'm like stuck in it. And so a lot of these guys know that, like, they're known as the lean person, I mean, there's literally people with lean in their name on social media, or shredded or fit. And so you have to stay in that lane,
Not the muscle.
Yeah. Yeah, the muscle's not the muscle.
Nope. Sorry, dog.
Oh, man, that's funny. All right, so let's just jump into this.
The bank account, I mean, homie, getting paid. I ain't taking away there, but...
You're not the muscle. Yeah. Let's see that Apple's controversial ad. I haven't seen it all the way through. I started watching it, and then I was like, no, I'm going to wait and watch this.
All right, yeah.
But I will preface this by saying they did, in fact, apologize for this.
Okay.
So they just said we missed the mark. I don't know. But anyways, old 1984 ad versus today. I have it pulled up. Oh, they're going to show an older ad? Okay. Let's just watch them. Which one are we watching? The old one first? All right, watching the old one first. It's fine. We can hear it enough.
Oh, I remember this ad. She gonna run and break something? Yeah.
This is from 1984? Was it? There were Macs in 1984?
This wasn't shot in 1984. But the, maybe it's like 1984-esque, like the book.
Yeah. Because say, like, I don't even think they were.
Georgie boy. Oh, get it. She sets them all free. Oh. Apparently it was. Dang, okay. They just hit the market running. That's cool. So I don't know if you guys have read the book 1984. I have.
I actually haven't.
It's really good. And their whole thing was like, it's not going to be like that. It's not going to be some dystopian thing. And now we've come full circle where it's...
So, like, this is their ad now.
Think the same. I think is there. What is it? Just gonna say you don't need any of these things anymore because you have the Vision Pros?
Yeah, because you have an iPad, I think, is what they're getting at.
No books, no art, no squishy balls, no pianos. I don't know what that's supposed to convey, but sadness, kind of.
I think they're just trying to convey like this device can replace all of those things or can do all the things that you saw
Yeah, no,
before.
I get that. It's
But
just like,
yeah, I think my favorite are just the top comments that we can see, which got closed out on me as I was about to read them. Okay. The symbolism of indiscriminately crushing beautiful creative tools is an interesting choice.
right.
I'm not sure wanton destruction of all good and beautiful things in this world was really the vibe you're trying for. You destroyed all the creative tools and efforts of humans. Worst commercial ever. I felt sad when I saw creative tools such as musical instruments and cameras being destroyed. I don't think the creator will like this video. Is it my Japanese sensibility that makes me feel this way?
Yeah, a machine crushing a bunch of things that were made by people's hands so it can show you a piece of hardware made entirely by a robot that runs software. That's the future.
Yeah. I will say I completely understand what they were going for.
I do too. And I know that's the future. And I do know that's the future. And I'm not trying to be the old get off my yard old man in the picture, but like, dang, dude, it's happening so fast.
Well, I think the truth is it kind of symbolized for people. A lot of people weren't putting it together, and that put something together that like, hey, we're replacing a lot of stuff with technology now. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, whoa, you know?
Yeah, well, think about it, man. Like, we talked about this a little bit before, but we thought, when AI came out, that the hard skills we're going to have to worry first, like the engineers and everything. I don't think anybody thought the creative side was going to start getting attacked as fast as it did.
Oh, yeah. Well, you saw that. Have you seen the AI that writes songs and stuff?
How is that the fastest, easiest path? I don't understand. I still think AI is directing itself. But, it's like, I don't want to do math. That's boring. Let's make videos.
Well, yeah.
Or something, because
creativity is hard, right? Because you can't teach creativity,
right.
But you can teach engineering, you can teach mathematics, you can teach law, but those are like things that you can teach. But creativity is like, I mean, some artists are so sought after because of like the way they think, right? The way they painted or the way they displayed Picasso, I mean, and so to think that AI can be like,
well, to think that it's coming after it first, I understand that it can review contracts and it can do all those types of things. But like it's gotten marginally better since it came out at doing that. At contract reviews and word-based stuff.
Right.
In my opinion, right? I guess I don't understand the technology involved, but to go like, show me a mouse juggling, running through a field and then turn it into an astronaut and then just like rendering.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in front of an audience. You're just like, huh?
In my opinion, I think the reason that it's going that direction is because we all, like, honestly, the gold and oil of today's time is data and attention.
Yeah.
And I think that attention is content creators and creativity right now. So if you can figure out how to remove people and just create content that people consume, then you've pretty much are making free content, and then it's all profit. Next up, this morning, I woke up because Letty had been coming in our room, and I was like, you know what? I rolled over to Aubrey. It was like 5:15. I was like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym now. Because Fridays are harder because we have our morning meeting at 8, and so I don't really like going to the gym after the morning meetings because I feel like there's just too much going on by that point in the day. So got up, knew you'd be there.
Yep.
But as I was in our bathroom, I could hear the rain. And that's saying a lot because it's going through our roof, through the insulation, and then we have another roof. Yeah. We have essentially two roofs on our house, in the bedrooms. And I could hear it, and I was like, oh, my gosh. And then I came out to the kitchen, and I looked out the window, and it literally was like a strobe light of just flashes.
Dude, it looked like there were tornadoes going to kick off. I was already at the gym, and I didn't know it was going to rain. And it must have started raining, but it was like real windy. I couldn't see it. I saw one person like run to the door. I was like, that was weird. Then I saw another person, then another person run to the door. I'm like, why is everyone running to get in the gym this morning? I still couldn't see, and then I could start see the rain and everything. And, dude, it got so windy. The palm trees were bending. I thought one of them was going to fall on somebody's car.
It was the wind was blowing, obviously, like north to south.
Yep.
Because our back, the front porch area that we have, like my shoes were full of water, and they're underneath the awning and everything. So it was like blowing that bad. Wow. But Tallahassee got some tornadoes.
Okay.
And they were pretty bad. Have you seen them? Okay. Well, here you go. Here's some of the. We don't have to hear the sounds. I don't even want to hear this. This is like PTSD for a lot of people for Hurricane Michael.
Michael, for sure. The rain, the thunder. Oh no, is that the art district? Yeah. Oh man, my buddy owns all that. I need to call him.
Oh really?
Adam Case. Sorry, buddy.
Hopefully he has good insurance.
Oh man, them old buildings. I don't.
Yeah. There's some like gnarly ones. Yeah, look at that. Snap that tree right in half. Yeah.
It's all the same area. Daggum.
But yeah, so someone messaged me and they're like, hey, I just wanted you to know that I prayed for you and Aubrey this morning. And I was like, thank you, but about what?
Thank you. Florida's a big state.
And they're like, I saw all the tornadoes. And I was like, oh, we just had really heavy rain here. I didn't even know. And then they sent me some of these pictures and videos. And I was like, wow.
Man, Mother Nature don't play around, dude. Yeah.
Do you think Florida's the most dangerous state to live in? Honestly?
I don't know.
Well, no, think about it. We have hurricanes, we have tornadoes from the storms and stuff
Maybe
like
I'm
that.
just used to it. Yeah, we got alligators, we got all the poisonous snakes, we got Florida, man,
But, the truth is, I wouldn't say every state, but majority of states have some kind of natural disaster thing. Montana gets fires, really bad fires. California gets fires and earthquakes. And potentially they can get a hurricane. You can get a hurricane on the Pacific, right?
It's all that debauchery out there in California.
Texas.
God's telling y'all something.
Texas gets the same thing we get. Hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff like that.
Unless you're in the middle of Texas. Then you just have to deal with being in the middle of Texas. True,
right.
So
well, it's like you can get drought, I guess. It's like
just have to be there.
Yeah. Well, remember the freeze in Texas?
True.
That's shut down.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm clowning. Texas, Oklahoma have wild weather. You wouldn't think it. Oklahoma gets hotter than here and hails and freezes.
Where's Tornado Alley?
In the Midwest.
Isn't just Midwest?
Up in that belt.
Okay.
North Oklahoma, Wisconsin, I think.
Yeah, honestly, it's like if you want to talk about states that, technically all the Carolinas and Virginia and stuff can still get hurricanes that spin up that way. Mm-hmm. So, if you want to talk about safe states, like, I don't know, maybe Tennessee. I don't know.
The whole state's safer than Chicago, I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's for sure. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that Florida definitely, you know what? Truthfully, there's like a balance between how nice it is to live in a certain state versus the disasters that come to it, right?
Man.
Because no one's like, this state's awesome and there's nothing that's wrong with it.
Dude, Hurricane Michael was coming, and we were hanging out at the in-laws' house, just bunkering in place. I had all the supplies. And I've been here through all the hurricanes. We're drinking. We're just whatever. And, man, it really popped off. Is it saying?
It says that the Oklahoma is number 6 on the list of like
terrible weather.
Yeah, terrible weather, I guess. Wyoming? What? Interesting. Nevada, Missouri, Alabama.
Well, it's Alabama, so also that.
Yeah, but I think it was a tornado and stuff like that. So I said, listen, I will take hurricanes over tornadoes, even though hurricanes can still spin off some tornadoes, because at least you usually know that they're coming and you can evacuate the area.
Usually you have time.
Yeah, these people in Tallahassee, they had no clue.
No, I know.
They thought bad weather's coming through, and then all of a sudden, boom, freaking tornado. Tornadoes scare the shit out of me.
Get me bathtubs. Get me bathtubs.
Did I tell you about the time? One time I was here with Letty, and the weather was really bad, and Aubrey was gone. And I looked out the window, and, we're on the second floor, and we're not just on a second floor. We're like 15 feet up. So, we're much higher than a normal second floor is. And all of a sudden, I saw, like, some bins that we have like that and lids flying through the air. And I was like, oh shit, that's a tornado, like a tornado's coming or something like that. And I literally grabbed Letty and like ran to the bathroom, which then of course like freaked her out, right? And she was young at the time. She was like probably only like 1. So she's like
time
crying.
To build a fort in the dog washing room.
Yeah. I was like, I was legit like, oh my gosh. And I don't even know. It's like, is it better to be on the first floor? Is technically like the elevator shaft probably the safest place on our building?
I don't know.
It's completely interior.
I would say in that room, in that foyer.
Yeah, that
I
foyer
wouldn't
down
want to
there.
be around the elevator.
Right. But in the foyer itself, yeah. Yeah, that's why I think it's probably the safest. Because, But anyways, we've talked about that on the
my partner with U.S. Lawns, he was here because he had a call center that he had to, like, kind of hunker in place. He was in his elevator shaft, like, in the back area. And, I mean, his whole building was, like, flexing. I was at Kirsty's parents' house. It was gnarly. Just leaving to go check on people and make sure your folks were good. I mean, I had to chainsaw. It probably took an hour to get to my house from Kirsty's folks, which they live, like, the neighborhood next to here.
Right, yeah.
Like,
should not take that long.
Yeah, it'd take, like, 5 minutes, tops, on
Right.
a normal day. 8 minutes with traffic. There was no traffic.
Yeah.
Bolt cuttering power lines out of the way, like, helping cops. They didn't have no tools. I had tools. We, like, kind of knew it was going to get a little bad, so we stocked up a little bit. We wound up going full-blown storm cleanup company, so we had nothing compared to later, but we had chainsaws and bolt cutters and all that shit.
My dad's actually been like pretty close to a tornado before. He said that the only way he described it, he said it sounds like a freight train coming. It really
Whistling.
does.
Yeah.
And he said like they heard this noise, and he was at a customer like doing an order, and he said they heard the noise, and he said he opened the door, and when he opened the door, he saw the far end of the building getting ripped off.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, shut the door, and like, they went the other direction. Like they ran to an interior room, but like my dad was like, yeah, man, I opened the door and was like, oh my gosh, there's a tornado right in front of me. You know?
Wow. I actually didn't see the tornado, but when I was in the Army, there was a tornado that spun up during a like training mission. We were out in the field, and it was in Georgia.
Oh,
Yeah.
Georgia.
It was
okay.
like, oh shit, there's a tornado.
Yeah.
Like, run, run where?
Yeah.
Like, like it was scary, but it was scary because everyone was like, fucking like, no, dude, there's a real tornado. Like people
not
that
a
don't
drill.
act that way.
This is not a drill.
Yeah, this is not a drill, man. And it's kind of funny just seeing a bunch of guys out there like blowing stuff up, shooting guns and stuff, being like, ah.
Were there? I guess they're not really tornadoes. Are there like sandstorms over there in Afghanistan and stuff? When you were over there? Middle East?
I mean, there's weather patterns. There's sand-like tornadoes, I believe, that occurred. Nothing that I experienced. Now, the sand storms, or just the like wall of sand that comes over there, is movies. Nothing does it justice. It looks like a block is sliding at you. It looks like you're gonna feel it. I mean, I literally remember being like, everybody's like, putting stuff on, and I was outside, and you run inside if you can, but if you're kind of where you can't, we were like on the way to the vehicle, and we were running to the vehicle to get in, and it was like, and it, it's like a windy, hot ass dust that just moves around you, but it's so opaque. It's so opaque that like, I've not been in one that was I wouldn't be able to see Eastman for sure.
Okay.
I don't know that I've been
It's
in
like
one
straight
that's
up been
bad.
like Dune.
Yes. They're straight up, you just stop driving.
Yeah.
Pointless.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
So in other news, we have 18-year-old Barron Trump who will serve as the Florida delegate at the GOP convention. Is he actually get that? Because I know he was like, I knew that he was attempting to become the Florida delegate at the GOP, but I don't know if he actually got it.
They gave
not.
that boy growth hormone growing up.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Yep, he was chosen. Okay. But he's 6'7". Is that what they said?
6'7".
I actually think he's taller than 6'7". Because look at that picture of him next to Trump right there. The second picture. Yeah. Yeah. So supposedly Trump is 6'3". So Donald Trump is 6'3". So Barron Trump's 6'7". So there's only 4 inches between them. But whenever you see their heights next to each other, there's literally, I mean, what is that? I mean, look at that height difference.
Yeah. East, do you think that's? Oh no. Either way.
That's not Donald's not in that picture. Look at the other one right there. Barron Trump towers over the necks down. Okay, well, I mean that one's fine too. I mean they're all just. Barron Trump is legitimately. I mean, unless I just way off on measuring 4 inches, it seems like he's a good 6 inches taller.
Man, this kid is ginormous.
So either Donald is 6'1" or Barron is 6'9", because he is at least 6 inches taller. So,
but all right. So he got selected to be a delegate, right?
And he's only 8. How old is he?
I think that thing said 18.
Yeah. So like he's probably still growing. No, I mean for real.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
you know, he was probably 6'7" last year. Now the kid's 6'9" or something. So yeah, he's 18. He's still in high school. So
Freaking tennis rackets for hands.
oh yeah, because he's graduating high school this year, and,
Oh.
or he did graduate recently. He's either still in high school or he recently graduated, and then he wasn't. You know, Donald Trump wasn't allowed to go to his graduation because of the legal stuff that the judge made him be in person. So it was a big deal about that. But yeah, I don't even. Do you know what the Florida delegate for the GOP is? Because I don't even know what it is.
No. Sounds like a I don't know, being the right kid, getting you a fake political job possibly, but
Well, I mean,
either way, you know, the kid's destined for politics.
well, I mean, how many people have been in politics? Like Joe Biden has been in politics since like what? He was 30.
Yeah, right.
He literally, like he went to law school. He was a terrible lawyer. Like he was like lost in his law school class. Which I mean, I get it. He's still a lawyer or still went to law school or whatever.
Bernie.
But, yeah.
Bernie Sanders.
Um,
He's been in politics a minute.
I don't know what that's about. A New Testament ban? Is there free speech anymore? Especially
I do.
with history.
I do.
House passes bill to define
Yep. I know what
alleging
this is.
Jewish involvement in Christ's crucifixion as anti-Semitism.
Yeah, so they're basically trying to pass a law that says that anything deemed, or rather, many things could be deemed anti-Semitic. So, including parts of the Testament that, you know, criticize the Jews for their whatever interactions with things. I'll let y'all's faith dictate, depending on what parts of the Bible y'all read. But
Right.
yeah, they're basically saying you might not be able to say that type of stuff anymore. What it will do is it will limit. What I believe it'll do is limit our elected representatives who like stand on their religious beliefs, because that's what we elected them for, to be unable to do so.
Wow.
Not at least in the public forum that they do, and that's ridiculous.
But I mean, just to clarify, America hasn't had free speech for a long time.
That's right.
Because the moment that you outlaw any form of speech, you no longer have free speech.
That's right.
So because there is hate speech and hate speech is illegal and you can be punished for those things by like the court of law or, you know, whatever, then you do not have free speech. In my opinion, I don't believe that hate speech should be a thing. I think that everyone should be able to speak however they want, and then everyone then can align their values and their support based
Agreed.
on those things.
Yep.
So if someone wants to, again, this is not me saying that I want there to be people like this out there, but if someone wants to be some kind of like racist bigot and say a bunch of things and do a bunch of things, I believe that they should be allowed to do those things.
I won't go to their business.
But
I
if you
won't
don't
hire them, I won't go to their business,
Exactly.
and the market gets to take over. I
Right.
agree with you completely.
Yeah.
Look, have whatever opinions you want to, and as a society, we'll kind of just dictate on our own what works with us, man.
Because otherwise, hate speech just turns into a "I don't like that" thing, and then
Yeah.
it turns into me saying "I don't like that thing," so you can't do it anymore. And then it's like, well, who gets to draw the line or decide like what's acceptable? And
well,
what's not
it's
acceptable?
just with touching on that, it's just become so selfish to where it's like, I don't like what you did, so you have to stop.
Right.
So it just makes everything about me. You can't do that because you might hurt their feelings. Well, it's like, well, what about my feelings?
Right. Yeah, I know.
And so it's so silly. But yeah, they're
Yeah,
basically
so-
trying to pass a bill that says you can't say certain things because it might hurt somebody's feelings. I mean, you could take it a bunch of different ways. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand certain things like you shouldn't be able to like lie or defame someone or like things like that, defamation. So like again, technically, I guess you could say those things.
It's
but
providing also a level of government protection into religious beliefs that just, I'm sorry, it
Oversteps,
doesn't, it doesn't need to be there. Listen, the Jews can believe what they want to about Jesus. Christians aren't coming and saying like, hold on, if you say that, it's illegal.
Right.
You can't say he's not the son of God or blah, blah, blah. You can't just believe he was a prophet or
right.
can't do that. It's freedom of religion, freedom to do whatever. If somebody like And truthfully, I don't know, man. You know, without getting off on it, there's a lot of taboo things, what you can and can't say, especially on this platform. But I don't think anybody should say bad things about anybody. But it doesn't mean I think we need to, like, necessarily put laws in place to stop them.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just like, I don't really see how it's anti-Semitism to say that Jesus was crucified by Romans and Jews, you know, that did that. It's a factual statement. Now, to like hold some kind of anger or aggression towards your Jewish people you meet today for that instance, that's stupid. Right. They had nothing to do with it. It just makes no sense, right? It's honestly as stupid as I feel about
It's
people.
wild that it would even be brought up to where we even need to do some kind of law on it. So the only thing that it tells me is that there's like, they're going to be weird with language. They're going to be like, you can't say that. You can't use that specific language in a bill. And it's going to just like stifle something, because otherwise, like, whoever is in charge of during these congressional things would be like, y'all, why are we talking about 2,000 years ago? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why are we talking about this? Again, Christian values, certain things, and other values, man. You know, I think the different religious sects can wear the headwear and religious attire as they want to and say what they believe.
Right.
Like, speak your truth, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so muddled when I feel like me and you are very similar in the fact that like we have more libertarian views where it's like, I just wish the government would just keep their nose out of things they don't need to keep their nose into. And like right now, like, I don't feel like you need to be involved in this. Speaking of something I think they should be involved in though, did you see this video that's going viral where Bradley Martin and Vitali or whatever his name is, literally like they did an undercover, like they did one of those, like, what's his face? How to Catch a Predators. Mm-hmm. Watch this. $15. So that's the Sting actually, that's a major Hollywood producer. Did you know that? Like apparently he produced, which I don't want to get this wrong and then be saying the wrong thing. I was told that he was like a producer for like Space Jam, like the first one back in the day and things like that.
So he probably worked around kids.
Yeah, produced Space Jam. So, yeah, and then, but anyways, the Vitali guy lost his contract with Kick, which is like Twitch's rival now. They terminated his contract, which Kick paid a lot of money to certain streamers to get them onto Kick to try to combat Twitch, you know, and then YouTube, and now same thing. YouTube signed the deal with Tim the Tatman. He left Twitch. I think that Twitch signed a big deal with what's his name, Nick Merckx, and stuff like that. But very interesting, you know, to see that, because
I mean, yeah, put him down, death penalty, stone him to death, whatever, don't care. No, deplorable. Waste of.
Oh yeah, Space Jam, Kindergarten Cop, Trading Places,
movies with kids,
all kids movies, yeah, or young movies, yeah.
What's that guy's name that was in the video? The big guy,
Bradley Martin.
Should have taken that motherfucker's head off. Excuse my language, whatever.
So this girl said she was 23 on a dating app. Once she started talking to the guy, she told him that she was actually 15, and he still.
There's another guy who does that. I think his name's Eric something, but he does those like
How to Catch a Predator type stuff.
Yeah, but he's like a bodybuilder too. I mean, he's like a bigger dude.
Yeah.
So like he catches these like pieces of fucking trash. The thing is, man, like I don't know, like what do they do to these people?
So technically, I don't think that he's going to get in any trouble.
I don't either, because also, you know, we uncovered the whole global
ring
child messers, withers. I mean, whatever you can say on here, but like
The fact that Epstein's client list is still there and no one's gotten in trouble tells you that the government or whoever is behind these decisions doesn't care about this kind of stuff. Sadly.
Yep.
So, but anyways, yeah, it's just really weird and unfortunate that there are people like that in this world. And yeah, I guess it's glad that someone exposed him. But the thing is, like, maybe this scared him and he won't do it soon. But
I don't think so,
most
man.
of these people start
I think
doing it.
these people get caught like this. I think nothing happens and they get ballsier.
Yeah.
I do. I think he should have been.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't really find a place for those kind of people in this world. But yeah, that was just an interesting video, and it's just weird to see that he actually didn't get in any trouble, and Kick terminated Bradley Martin and Vitali's or whatever's contract. It's just weird. It's almost like they're getting punished.
Y'all go full ham, spin that stuff. I mean, y'all are looking out for the kids. Y'all looking out for the babies. Some platform wants to support that.
Yeah,
they do.
So,
holler at us. We'll help you spin it.
Anyways, I mean, he's done a couple of these.
He was the guy that was like always like trying to pretend fight people.
Yeah, I think I think he was used to be a pranker. Yeah, I think all of those guys used to be like prankers, and they grow big followings, and then maybe they're like, I want to do something better with my life, so they go on to other things. But
I feel like most of those videos are fake. I feel like they just get a group of people and be like, "Hey, pretend this, like, just stand around the around the grocery store." I think, dude, you would get taken out by some people I know.
I think it used to be more real. I really do. I think it used to be more real.
Hurt.
But I think people started getting hurt, and people started getting.
Oh, that one guy got shot in the mall or whatever. Just like, truthfully, this man might have been there to low key shoot up the mall because he had his hand on the like. But there's a video. He'll get it. The guy goes to prank, and dude, like, just boom, has the piece and is ready to get him.
Oh yeah, shot in the mall.
Look at this. Hey, we're about to prank. Let's go get this prank.
It was 7 months ago. Oh, they found him not guilty? Dang. He just pulled out the gun.
Told you to stop, dog. Listen, he found out. Okay?
Not guilty. He was found not guilty.
Fuck around.
Wow.
Don't fucking mess with people like that.
He's a DoorDash driver, huh?
Yeah, something a little wrong with him. You could tell, but he just wasn't having it.
Yeah.
Okay? I have a delivery to make, and I'm getting this man his...
Well, yeah, I mean, he was being harassed at work for no reason.
I'm with it, bro.
Yeah.
More of this shit happen. People quit messing around, bro. You F around, you find out.
That's my favorite, the graph where he's like...
Yeah, dude.
F around.
The amount you F around is the level you're going to find out.
Yeah.
This dude gave him all of 60 seconds to quit, and then he just pulled out the toaster and went to town.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's quite a huge escalation in force.
He just went bang.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm not...
Off the hip. Didn't anything. Love it.
I think for me, I would just been like, man, this is going to be a lot of paperwork afterwards, you know?
Real American hero.
But
Cue
anyway.
Bud Light ad.
Well, I mean, that's honestly half the time I see these pranksters, I'm like, I'm surprised they don't get more injured.
Punched in the face.
Well, have you seen ones where people like get into people's cars?
Dude.
There are prankers that will like act like that you're their Uber driver and they're getting into a car, and they've done it to like certain people that like in Florida and Texas, that's a castle doctrine. You can protect your car. And if someone gets into my car and is being weird, like I'm
in Texas, if you ask them to leave your shit one time, I think, and then you can just roast them.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas has some pretty intense property protection laws.
Yeah.
Which is good, man. Don't. Because California don't.
Right. Yeah. And you can see the difference in crime related there to those things.
Yeah, man. I know people that were talking about leaving their trunks open.
Yeah.
Just so people like their trunks wouldn't get yoked open just to see if anything was in it.
Yeah, people leave their windows down because they got or their doors unlocked because they got tired of their windows being smashed.
Yeah.
So
just before they even check to see if they're unlocked, they just smash the window.
Right.
It's faster.
Yeah. It's wild. It is wild. And I think they honestly feel like they just want to make people have a bad day.
Yeah.
You know, just crappy people like that. But anyway, I feel like that's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty good. I mean, this was a fun podcast.
Yeah.
This was a lot different than what we normally do,
Still.
but we still got some stuff in there. But hope you enjoyed it. As always, you're worth it. Do hard shit.